It's time. It's time to start. It's time to start reaching your machine quilting goals. Why haven't you started? It's time to start. It's time to start reaching your goals with free motion quilting, with walking foot quilting, with ruler quilting. It's time. Why haven't you started? Don't think about starting it tomorrow or next week or next month. Today is the day to start. I'm Geraldine Wilkins, the Living Water Quilter, and I'm so glad to be with you and give you some ideas about what's happening in the studios, in my studio, so that I can help you start reaching your goals with machine quilting. That's what I love to do. I love to help ladies go from frustration to fabulous with free motion quilting and acrylic ruler quilting. Hello, ladies. I'm so glad that you're here. I wanted to give you an update. Many of you have already started in 2025 to reach your goals. Hello. So glad that you're here. Welcome, welcome. Why is it important to stay focused to reach your goals in machine quilting? We're all creative people. We love to sew fabric. We love to make things. We love to craft. But we need to acquire some skills to help us reach certain goals with things we want to make and do, right? So I like to help by helping ladies learn those techniques: machine quilting, ruler quilting, and free motion. And in that vein, I have put together a lot of things for you, and a lot of you have started, and I'm so excited you have started. Hello, hello, how are you? So glad that you're here. Let me see if I can get that comment down right there. There we go. We are going in a couple of days. Some of you have already signed up for the improv ruler quilting class. Why? Because you want to get started with ruler quilting. And that's what you're looking at down here. This is improv ruler quilting. We are using a straight edge ruler, straight edge, which is fantastic if you're brand new to ruler quilting. Hello, Colleen. Hello. So glad that you're here. Welcome, welcome. Australia is here. Austin, Texas, North Carolina. Welcome, ladies. Let me know in the chat, are you a quilter? Do you sew? Do you quilt? And do you free motion quilt or ruler quilt? Are you ready to start ruler quilting? Are you ready to start free motion quilting? Some of you have signed up for the improv class because you want to start. And the improv class is fantastic for those just learning ruler quilting, or if you just want to get started. And we use a straight edge. We learn some of the rules, but then we learn how to break them. And this is one of the rules that we break. And I can't wait on Saturday. Some of you are in that class on Saturday. It's a virtual class. So if you're in another state, in another country, you can still attend. These are virtual classes. Here's one design structure that we're going to learn on Saturday. And here's another one. This is another design structure where I show you how to use the acrylic ruler with your home sewing machine. Yes, that's right. Your home sewing machine. Who else is here? Hello. Yes, free motion quilting, never ruler quilting. Does that mean you will never do ruler quilting or you haven't started to learn? Hello in Lancaster, House of Threads. Yes, free motion quilting and ruler quilting on her long arm. Fantastic. Yes, iTube says that she does so. And someone else says that they haven't ruler quilted yet. I'm not going to say never because you never know. Hello, Rhonda. How are you? Welcome, welcome. I like that. You haven't yet. This is a fantastic way to get started. In my virtual classes, it's always a small knit group. So I get to spend time with each of you to learn how to set up your machine and to do ruler quilting. But guess what? Let me show you. Let me show you another video. This is the improv ruler quilting that I'm talking about. I show you, one, how to set up your machine. Before you even come to the class, you are in a video class, an online video class that you get to watch over and over again so that you can set up your machine. That way, when you come to class, you are ready. And let me show you what that looks like. Let's see. I'm going to cover this one, this one, this one, this one, and come here. There we go. So this is the machine setup video for ruler quilting. So my goal is for you to be successful, for you to start and be successful. How do you do that? The first thing is your machine setup. Many of us, and I was one, I did not know how to set up my machine for free motion quilting or ruler quilting. Raise your hand in the chat if that is you or was you. Did you know what tools to use? Did you know how to set up your tension, the foot, everything? In this video, you get to learn all those things. I show you how to set up your machine. I show you how to install the ruler foot. Let's see, hard to quilt with my sewing machine. Would love to see how to make it easier. Yes, that's fantastic. We can do that. And how we do it is first by learning how to set up our machine. I have both a free motion quilting and a ruler quilting basic setup video course that anyone can take. And you're probably wondering, but is it my sewing machine? Every sewing machine has the same thing: a needle, right? A foot, tension, and foot pressure. I show you the basics of those different basic things. Every machine may adjust those things differently, but you still need to know how to adjust them. So even if it's not the same machine right here, that's a Burnett 79, your machine still has an adjustment for foot pressure. Your machine still has an adjustment for tension. The only thing that you'll need is your machine manual. When I talk about foot pressure, you learn how to adjust the foot pressure based on your manual. And then I tell you what the setting that you need for the foot pressure. You get a ruler foot or free motion foot. And I tell you how to adjust the height of the ruler foot so that you don't get thread breaks or skip stitches. That's me, says Patty. Yes. So someone says that my machine has a small neck, and that is challenging. Should I still start something like this or give up before I even begin? You should start. I always say baby steps, step by step by step. I started on a small machine. I just don't try and do big quilts with it. I stay with small projects. And small projects are the best way to learn any technique. We don't start painting a huge mural when we haven't even painted a small 5x7 painting, right? We start small. Same thing with sewing, same thing with quilting. So yes, I would encourage you to get started. And then you'll know if it's something that you enjoy. And if you enjoy it, then invest in something bigger. It's not a good idea to invest in a big thing when you don't even know if you like it, right? So yes, start with your small machine. All right. Hello there, Mr. Webb, Cyrus Webb. Welcome, welcome. So glad that you're here. What was the name of the small machine you used? Oh my. I don't even think they make it anymore. It was a white machine. I spent $300 for it. It had a couple of features that were important to free motion quilting, like a needle down feature, and I wore it out. I wore that machine out. And as a result, I end up going on eBay and finding a machine that an experienced quilter recommended. And I said, well, my budget is so much. I want this particular machine. I can't buy it new. I can purchase it used. And I went from a small harp space to a bigger harp space. That's when I knew that it was worth investing. Since then, I have graduated up to a long arm, but that took several years. The used machine I purchased, I quilted with that for like 8 years before I moved on to another machine. So these are all good questions. So in the improv class, what is so critical in the improv class is learning, one, how to set up your machine, like I mentioned, for free motion quilting, and knowing how to install your ruler foot. So even before you come to class, I give you a video tutorial so that you learn how to set up your machine. You go through that with me in the video. Then when you come to class, I show you how to use the ruler and make designs like this without marking or very little marking. I show you how to do that, which is fun, and you can do it on a small home machine. The machine I was showing you, that doesn't have a big harp space. It's small, but you can still do it. It's a smaller machine. I think it's about 8 or 9 inches. I don't remember, but it's not as big as one of my other machine that has 11 inches. This one is much smaller. You can make designs like this one. Once you learn how to read the lines on the ruler, which I show you, you can do that. Once we learn those basic things, then we break the rules. Who likes to break the rules? Raise your hand in the chat. Do you like to break the rules? I know I do. It can be fun. Oh, you're quite welcome. What is the name of the small machine you use? Okay, I answered that question. Okay, that's fire and cloth. Oh, that's my cousin. Hey, I just realized that. Hey, Tracy. Then we go into some fun quilting with a straight edge. I show you what I call our structures. We take basic structures like you're building a house. We create those structures. You know, the foundation is a part of the structure, the walls are part of the structure. Well, we create a foundation and walls. And once we do that, we can design it any way we want. It's just like when you buy a house, right? They build the walls, the structure, and then you go in and you design it any way you want. Hey, Heidi, how are you? Oh, Tracy. Everyone, Fire and Cloth is my cousin. She's a gifted artist. She does ceramics. She's a painter. She's going to have a show in, where is it, Tracy? Isn't it in is it Richmond, Virginia, where you're going to have the show? Let me know in the chat and I'll put it up on the screen. Go check out my cousin. She's a gifted artist. So that's what we do. We learn the basics of how to read the ruler. Then we create structures. Then we go and we design inside the structure. And this is an example. And I want to show you some more examples. Let me show you again. The same machine that I set up for free motion is me now using the acrylic ruler. It's a beginner friendly class called Improv Ruler Quilting. And some of you ladies are coming on Saturday, so I can't wait to see you. It's a virtual class and we're going to have fun. If you are not in that class on Saturday, don't worry. It's a reoccurring class. You can sign up for the email list so that the next time I offer the class, you'll be notified. And if the date is good for you, you can join. So scrolling right here is the website, machinequilting.live. Just go to machinequilting.live. look for virtual events, and then sign up for the email list for the class that you're interested in. Improv ruler quilting. Great way to get started. Okay, so my cousin says that the class is, let me go back here so you can see it. It's at the Norfolk Botanical Gardens from February 8th to, let's see, 10 February 8th, and it's from at 2 p.m. Is that the opening reception? Is that when it opens, February 8th? Sandy says, I did this, bought a used Viking. Fantastic. It has all the things I wanted for ruler work. Fantastic. Only to hate the auto foot up and down. Oh, it jumps up when I start, almost making the foot go under the ruler. Oh, that's not good. A dealer said it wasn't truly for rulers. I'm disappointed. Oh no, I'm so sorry that you can't turn that feature off. That is not good. Wow. I wish I knew more about the machine so that I could help you. I don't know much about the Viking machines. Oh, you're welcome. Okay, so the opening reception, my cousin says, is on February 8th. It's in Norfolk, Virginia. So if you are interested, please go check her out. She's an amazing artist. Norfolk Botanical Gardens, and that's in Virginia. And it opens February 8th. Go check her out. Fire and Cloth. So, all right. So that's the improv. Let me go to some more photos about the improv because I wanted to show you how do we go from learning the technique, right? We have to learn our machine setup. Step by step, machine setup, how to use the ruler, then how to make the designs. How do we go from those steps to actually putting it in a project, right? So the lady who said that she has a small machine, this is very small. This is about 8 by 10. It's not even that big. Perfect for a small machine. And that's the whole idea. We want it to be manageable when we learn. Learn the technique, learn the designs. Once you practice and you create a design like this, or like this, again, improv quilting, beautiful straight lines, no marking. I shouldn't say no, very little marking, very little. Just a couple of lines, and then you start doing improv. Remember the structure? We create that structure, the foundation, the walls, and once that's done, then we do all the design work. How do we get it into something real? So here's an example. Maybe you've been watching my YouTube shorts or my Instagram reels. I've been working on this tote bag. These are the straps. I'll talk about that later, but look at the quilting on it. Can you see the texture? This is a simple, small tote bag. It's made with, I haven't finished it yet, so it's in process. 3 squares here, 3 here, and the same thing on the opposite side. 6 squares, and then in the middle, I have a little bit of fabric. That's the bottom of the bag. That's the bottom. So when I close it and eventually sew the sides, the handles will go up here. The handles will be here. But the quilting, this is perfect for practicing your ruler quilting. All straight lines, right? Look at the design. Can you see the texture? The repeat, the echo quilting. Everything that is quilted on here was inspired by my practice piece. And it's the same design as this one. See this shape here? There it is right there. Can you see it? Same shape as this. So I took this practice piece and I put the same design in my tote, which this will be a tote eventually. This is how we move from practice to real projects. Once I go from this small piece to a larger piece, then I've developed the skill and ability to go to a larger piece like a quilt, right? A baby quilt first, right? We don't start with a king size quilt. I practice the technique here. I practice using different threads. I see what problems I'm having. I get used to using my machine. Little by little, you build your skill. Little by little. So this will be a tote bag once it's done. Can't see much of the quilting here because of the color, but that is the inside. If you want to learn how to make this tote, this is my course of the month for January. I show you step by step how to make this tote. Now, go back to my YouTube reels or my YouTube shorts or my Instagram reels. You will see me quilting this, and you also see videos of me making a similar tote. In that video or reel, you see me making the straps. And this type of strap, I love this technique. You take two fabrics, one here in the back and this one in the center, and you create this beautiful piping. I show you how to make this piping. So easy, right? It looks hard, but it isn't. I want to share those tips with you. So this is going to be the straps for this bag. It's going to go all the way across. I can't wait to finish it. So that's what I've been up to, working on this and getting ready for Saturday's improv class. So that's that. What else did I want to talk to you about? I want to talk to you about other things that are coming up this month. Remember the conversation, how it started? If you're just joining us, I'm Geraldine Wilkins, the Living Water Quilter. I help quilters go from frustration to fabulous by helping them learn two techniques, free motion quilting and acrylic ruler quilting. Hello, Jackie. Hey. Wow. Hello. So glad that you're here. I'm just giving an update on all the things that are happening in the studio to help ladies reach their goals to start and to reach their goals with machine quilting. So a lot of you are in classes. This one is coming up on Saturday. And then the week after that is the Peaceful Portrait class. The Peaceful Portrait and another free motion class. So the Peaceful Portrait, what is that? Let's take a look. This is the Peaceful Portrait. We are going to have so much fun with this. You should have received, if you're in the class, you should have received your kit. I mailed those out last Friday before the snowstorm. I knew the snowstorm was coming. I said, I'm going to get those kits out. And in it, you've received several faces. You get to select whatever face you want. And you got 2 pieces of fabric and some tips for hand stitching. That's in your kit. If you didn't get your kit, please send me an email and let me know. But if you are new to what Peaceful Portrait is, it's a way to take a beautiful face, transfer it to fabric, stitch out the face with free motion quilting or hand stitching. And then we add beautiful decorative stitching in the back. Beautiful decorative stitching. Now, this one is the first, well, no, not the first. Yeah, it is. It's the first one that I did with hand stitching. The previous one was free motion quilting. As we learn these techniques, that's why I'm encouraging you to start. Start by setting up your machine for free motion if you haven't already. Start practicing so that you can create things like this, right? Beautiful. Now, if you're not good at free motion yet, you can hand stitch the face, which I love to do. And let me see, did I bring that one here to show you? I think it's on the other side of the room. That face was completely stitched by hand with a simple running stitch. Whereas this one is free motion quilting. You have the option. So ladies, if you're coming to the class in a couple of weeks, decide which one you're going to do. I'm going to show you both techniques. Very specific techniques for stitching the face with free motion and for also transferring the image. We want to be able to take whatever face you decide and transfer it to fabric. Did you check out the supply list? You know you need a light box to do it. To transfer a face from a piece of paper like you see here, you need a light box. But if you don't use a light box, guess what else you can use? Who knows? What else can you use if you don't have a light box? Have you ever transferred an image to fabric? So we are talking about machine quilting. Have you started? Do you want to learn free motion quilting? Are you interested in ruler quilting? Free motion quilting opens up so many doors to help you be more creative in your projects. The more you delay, the less creativity. Hey, there go my friends at Clover. Thank you. Hello, Clover. Clover has been a wonderful brand with so many wonderful tools. If you haven't looked at their tools, I use many of their tools. If you look at my videos, you'll see Clover tools. Thank you for stopping by, Clover. So glad that you're here. So we're going to learn this in a couple of Saturdays. We're going to look at the peaceful portrait, free motion quilting. And to the lady who said, should I start free motion with my small machine? This is that small machine again. The harp space on the Burnett 79 is not very big. But it's big enough for me to do a peaceful portrait. It's big enough for me to practice ruler quilting. So if your machine can use a free motion foot or a ruler foot and you want to learn, I say yes, get started. Get started. Because both techniques, they require lots of practice. Lots of practice. And then we will go over decorative stitches. How many of you ladies have machines with a lot of decorative stitches and you haven't used them? This is an opportunity. Decorative stitches can be used in so many creative ways. I've used them on tote bags. I'm using them in the peaceful portrait, which is an art piece. This is something you hang on the wall. So we're going to go through all of that. So this one peaceful portrait has decorative stitching, it has hand stitching, and it has free motion. You want to increase your skills, right? You want to increase your skills with machine quilting. Learn different techniques. Whatever's on your bucket list, don't wait. Get started. Yes, Jackie says she has a lot of decorative stitches. And we're going to explore those decorative stitches with the peaceful portrait to see what combinations work well with this project. I can't wait to get started. And guess what? Guess how many of these I've made? Guess in the chat how many peaceful portraits, if you've been following me on social media, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, I've posted a lot of videos on different peaceful portraits, different faces, different hairstyles, different fabric, different thread. How many do you think I've made? House of Thread says 20. Not that many, not that many, but a lot. I think I'm on number 6. I've made 5 so far. I'm on number 6. And with each one, I'm trying different combinations. And that's what I'm going to encourage you to do when you come take the class. I'm going to encourage you to, one, just like I said before about improv ruler quilting, this all applies. We learn the techniques. We practice the techniques on small projects. Then we try something different that we didn't do in the first. So my hope is that you will create a series with the peaceful portrait, where you are honing your skills with free motion, getting better at using decorative stitches. Hello, Nancy. Welcome. 40, not yet. She hasn't tried decorative stitches just yet. Well, hopefully you are going to try them soon. Welcome, ladies. So that's an update on the peaceful portrait. What else is happening? Oh, the next class, it's also happening this month, which is virtual. By the way, this is a virtual class. These are not in-person classes. Everything I'm talking about today, in January, I'm teaching all virtually right here in my studio. And it's going to be over Zoom. The next one is a free motion class. And it is, let me go back here one and show you this one. You've probably seen this one before. It's spirals with a twist. Lots of ladies start their journey with free motion quilting by doing a meander. And I encourage you to do that. Meander, meander, meander. It really helps you practice and hone your skill. I did it for 2 years before I tried anything else. My machines, this one, does not have stitch regulation. Raise your hand in the chat. Does your machine have stitch regulation? Long arms do, but not all of them do. My home machines do not have stitch regulation. So if you are learning free motion quilting and you have a machine that does not have stitch regulation, it's okay. Actually, it's really good. Practice your stippling over and over again, and you will get better. You will learn to hear your machine, what it should sound like when you reach a nice cruising speed. And when you get to that cruising speed, your stitch length will be more consistent. But guess what? Whenever we learn a new design like spirals, our stitch length is going to be all over the place. And don't worry, it's okay. Don't worry about it being all over the place. Hey, yep, Patty raised her hand. She understands. Now, I don't worry about my stitch length because I know if I'm trying something new, if I haven't stitched something in a long time, if it's a new machine, all of these variables will cause my stitch length to be irregular, and I am okay with that. I know that when we practice and we do something over and over again, the stitch length will get better. It will improve. Because as we're moving the fabric, we hesitate. If we don't know the machine, we hesitate. We speed up, we slow down, which will cause irregular stitch length. We don't know where we're going. We slow down, irregular stitch length. Once we learn the design, the stitch length will improve. All right, what else? I'm getting there. Yes, you practiced today. Great, Nancy. Yes, that's what I love to hear. Totally wanted to skip meander because I hate it and how it looks. Go figure, it's foundational. You know what I did to get better with liking meander? When I was sick of it and tired of it, I did meander and a flower, meander and a leaf, meander and something else. I added something in between the meander. That's how I made it bearable. Are you doing that? Are you making meander with flowers, meander with leaves? I have a whole book of my practice pieces. Hopefully you're saving your practice pieces. I hope everyone is saving their practice pieces. But you will improve. Once we do that and we break out of the meander world, a lot of us start to quilt spirals. And I love spirals. I love spirals because they naturally go with meander. When meander, we're moving around, right? All over, different directions. A spiral is part of that movement. So it's a natural progression. So what I've done with spirals with a twist, which I'm so excited about. Okay, never even started free motion. I'm a hand quilter, but my hands are breaking down and I need to swap to a machine. Okay. Well, I hope you get started with that. Don't delay. I hope you are able to get started with free motion quilting. Ah, Nancy says spirals are becoming her favorite. Hello. Hello, Pam in Illinois. Welcome. What I need to learn is how to relax my shoulders, neck, arms, and while I'm free motion. That's true, Patty. That is so true. Sometimes when we're nervous, I know that if I can't trust my sewing machine or if I'm worried about the needle breaking or the thread breaking, I tend to tense up. And that's why I really encourage to evaluate, quilters to evaluate what is causing the tension. Is it because you're not confident, you're unsure? Is that related to your ability or is that related to the machine? If it's the machine, learn how to set up your machine for success, meaning the right needles. What needles do you use? What type of needles? What size needles? The thread, the machine settings. All of this is in my free motion machine setup basic introductory course. It's a way to get started with free motion with the right tools and right setup. And are you concerned about tension and stitch length? That can cause us to tense up our shoulders and not be relaxed. The other thing could be we are afraid to mess up, to make a mistake. And we have to embrace that. We have to embrace that mistakes are part of the learning process. We will get better. We will make a mistake and then make an adjustment. Make a mistake, make an adjustment. So figure out what is causing that tension. Could it be the height of your chair? Is the chair too low? You know that your elbows need to be at a 90-degree angle to the machine. So if the machine is too low and you're doing this, that's not helpful. If you are sitting below the machine, that's also not good. You want to be sit straight up with your elbows 90-degree angle. So check that too, if you haven't already. So spirals are my favorite, and we are going to go over all kinds of spirals in the class coming up in a couple of weeks. We're going to do circle spirals, square spirals, rectangular spirals, triangular spirals. We are going to do spirals that are for edge to edge, for blocks. It's going to be amazing. And again, oh, you're welcome, Patty. You're welcome. So Nancy says she's struggling with eyelashes. Changed a needle to a 80-12. Well, Nancy, eyelashes are caused by two different things, and it's not the needle. I recommend you invest and take my machine setup class. It's an online class. You get to look at it over and over again, and I go through tension. Now, I have two. One for free motion quilting setup, one for ruler quilting setup. Of course, you know that when we set up our machine for free motion quilting and ruler quilting, it's the same setup except for one thing, the foot. A free motion foot versus a ruler foot. If you're having problems with tension, skip stitches, thread breaks, which can happen with both free motion and ruler quilting, but often it can happen, I think, at least my experience, more frequently in ruler quilting, I incorporated in the ruler quilting machine setup video course solutions for eyelashes, skip stitches, thread breaks. I teach you all that in the course. It's one that you can go back over and over again, and I talk about all the tools. Go check it out. Go to my website, machinequilting.live. This is a valuable course to have. If you are serious about ruler quilting and free motion quilting, you're going to learn a lot in this class. All right? So I recommend that. And for those of you who don't know, one of the tools, since Nancy mentioned the needle, when I was learning free motion quilting, I decided to learn. Let me put it that way. I knew nothing about needles or thread. If that is you and you want to learn or get better at free motion quilting and ruler quilting, you must invest time in learning about needles and thread. If you go to my website, machinequilting.live, on the home page, I have at the very top, is it very top? Yeah, you click on it. There's a little link. You click on that. It says, "What are you waiting for?" If you click on that, join my newsletter, you will get a video on needles and thread. It's free. Go watch it. Go to machinequilting.live, which is my website. The home page at the very top. What are you waiting for? Click on that. Join my newsletter. You'll get the needles and thread video. Go watch it. You want to learn about needles and thread. Okay. What was I talking about? Oh, the spiral class. If you're in that class, it's coming up. There's a lot of you in the class. Don't forget to look for your kit. I mailed the kit out last Friday before the snowstorm. It has all the patterns in it that we're going to learn. And it has the quilt pattern, this one, the Radiant Star. This is our project. We're not going to stitch it in class, but we're going to talk about how do we go, remember, from practice to quilt. How do we get the spirals inside of a quilt? And we're going to learn how to do that with the Radiant Star quilt. And I'm going to show you examples like how I put spirals in. And this is one technique that I'm going to talk about, how I put the spirals in the Radiant Star quilt. So look for your kit. This is a Quilt Fest virtual schoolhouse. It's number 10, January 22nd and 25th. So if you are unfamiliar with Quilt Fest virtual schoolhouse, there's so many opportunities to get started with quilting, and you can do that virtually. So what else do I have for you ladies that I haven't talked about? I think that's everything. I think I talked about everything in terms of updates, what's happening this month. And we are going to do the peaceful portraits. We're going to learn spirals. We're going to do improv quilting. And the new course for the month on the website is the Grab and Go tote bag. Go check that out all month long. It is discounted. And remember, What that looks like is this tote, which I'm in the process of making. This is the grab and go tote. I show you exactly how I sew this together, how I create this uh, strap with piping on the end, all the tools that I love to use. I don't use batting. I use foam, and there's foam in this as well. We go over everything. So that's the course of the month. And what else is happening? Quilt Conversations Live. We will meet again next Friday. Is the third? It's the third Friday of the month. Yeah, third Friday. So it's the first and third Friday Quilt Conversations Live right here on Instagram, right here on YouTube, right here on Facebook. It's an hour long, and we're going to talk about getting started. And for some of you that are in my online courses that you haven't gotten started yet, we're going to talk about that too. Why you want to take time and get started. So let me know in the chat if you have any questions about anything that I've talked about today, what's happening for the month of January. I will be back here on Instagram in 2 weeks, but next week will be YouTube and Facebook for Quilt Conversations Live. If you're unfamiliar with that, we meet on the first and third Friday and we talk all things machine quilting. And sometimes we have a Q&A, we play games, we have a really fun time. Let's see. Any other questions, ladies? And if you are following me, thank you. Thank you for following me and leaving comments and having this wonderful time with me this evening. If you're not, follow, subscribe, give it a thumbs up. All of that matters. And I want to continue to help you grow in machine quilting. I'm Geraldine Wilkins, the Living Water Quilter. I help you, quilters, go from frustration to fabulous by helping you with 2 machine quilting techniques, free motion quilting and acrylic ruler quilting. Get started. Take the next step. Is the next step getting a machine for free motion quilting? Is the next step getting your ruler foot? Is the next step learning how to set up your machine? Is that what you need to get started? Is it learning how to use the acrylic ruler? You have the machine set up, you have the rulers, but you don't know how to use the rulers. They're confusing. What is next? Whatever is next, get started. Don't delay. The weeks are going to go by. The months are going to go by. Think about when you purchased that ruler. Did you purchase it a year ago? 2 years ago? Hey, Sandy. Who else is here? Let me see. Are you going to repeat the spiral class in the future? Yes, I am. So if you are interested in any of the virtual classes, go again to my website, machinequilting.live, and click on virtual events. Look for monthly virtual, and there's a list of the virtual classes. Just get on the list. I don't have the spiral class up yet. Once the spiral class for this month is complete, I will put up a new list for the spiral class. Okay, but any of the other classes, just get on the list. That way you'll be notified by email when it's available, and then you can sign up. But yes, I will have it again. It's really a fun class. I've actually been working all week making new videos for the class. It's really going to be fun. You are welcome. You are welcome. I guess that's it then, ladies. I'll see you next Friday for Cool Conversations Live. I'm Geraldine Wilkins, signing off. I'll see you again soon.